What's up, soccer fans? Mike Guglielmi, Nick Pateras in the house, ready for some Portland Timbers, Minnesota United live stream reaction, watch along, hang out, you name it. Nick, how you feeling tonight, man?
How's this for you, Mike? Can you see the glass? You can hear it chinging.
I hear it.
Yeah, the blue screen effect is a little odd here, but I got a glass full of bourbon and a big soccer game with playoff implications coming up. I'm feeling good. And Mike, I'm also feeling good because my hometown team here, the Chicago Fire, just took care of business against Inter Miami 3-1, finally finding some offense. Even Shaqiri scores a goal tonight. So I'm coming off some good vibes with that. My college football team won today. Go Illini.
Nice.
Like Mike, I'm feeling really good. We got some good win streak, some good vibes going on tonight. How are you doing tonight, brother?
Dude, I am dead. I'm exhausted. I am. It has been a long day. I have put in a shift on this Saturday at sports fields and coaching and volunteering and all those things. And then when you do that all day long and you get beat down, yes, I got coach here. I coached my son's first soccer game today, as my first game as a coach. He's played for a while. And we got smashed. I mean, it was ugly. So yeah, it's been quite the day, man, between all this kind of stuff, and it's been crazy. So I am ready to watch a little bit of soccer, chat for a little bit, and then get on out of here and go to bed because I got to do all again tomorrow. And then to top it off, hey, when you get home, your team loses. Yes, TFC's done. They're out.
Did we stumble on the TFC?
Happy about
Holy
that.
Crap, dude! What happened in TFC, man? Like last I looked, it was 2-0.
Yeah, no, it was back and forth there in the beginning. They were holding their own without Insigne, without Osorio. They have no depth. Akinola and Jimenez have been very spotty since they've come on. They just don't have enough depth. Center back issue. Mavinga was out today. So, I mean, they just don't have anybody to step in behind any of these players. So they got a lot of work to do again in the offseason. It's not as easy as maybe one or two signings. They've got a lot of work to do here in the offseason. But it was fun to at least watch the game with the family and whatnot. But it is what it is. They're done. We're here to talk about Portland Timbers and Minnesota United in this Western Conference matchup. What are they, 5th and 7th in the playoffs or something right now?
I believe that is the case. I got the standings up right here. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, you've got Minnesota's in 5th. Portland is in 7th. Well remembered, Mike. And we're looking at a little of the pregame warmups here. They're talking about Amaria here for Minnesota. He's going to have to be the guy. Mike, looking at the starting lineups, do we see Reynoso in for Minnesota? We do not. He's been nursing an injury. That has been the biggest problem. Like, Minnesota was hot. And I remember a few weeks back on our live Monday night MLS recap show, which we do every Monday at 8 p.m. Central, you were saying, like, Minnesota needs to string it together. Well, Mike, they had like 7 wins in 10 games at that point, or in 11 games. Then Reynoso goes down, and here, the pregame report says Reynoso is out. He is not even listed as on the bench. No. And as soon as he went out, they lose 3-0 to Dallas, 3-0 to Salt Lake. Minnesota is not the same team now, much like how TFC was not the same team for a good reason when they get all their new summer signings in. Now Minnesota, that great, consistent run of form is now gone because Reynoso's out, amongst others. I think Bakali Tabase's out too, if I'm pronouncing his name right. That was a big blow to them. So Minnesota does not have that same kind of firepower as they've had in the past few games. So I'd love to see this be like a 4-2 kind of a game, but I just don't picture that. What do you think, Mike? What is your prediction? I think Portland's going to take this one, but let me hear what you think.
Yeah, so I've actually put a bet down on this one. I expect both teams to score, but I think the Timbers get it done at home. I'm thinking 3-1 is going to be my prediction in this one for Portland at home, and then I think I threw in like over 7.5 corners or something for just to up the odds just a little bit. But I think Portland's got it at home. If this was in Minnesota, I'd say maybe a different story. But dude, I looked at Minnesota's recent form lately, and it is ugly. It is really bad. So,
yeah,
based on that, and with Portland's form not being great but not being really bad, I got to go Portland at home.
No doubt. I'm with you. That was my pick. For all of the listeners out there, everyone who's on the live stream, if you don't know, well, now you know. We do a Wednesday night release of a betting picks and predictions video for MLS games for the upcoming weekend. I picked Portland this week. Like you said, Mike, they're at home. They have better run of form, and Minnesota's got the injuries, right? So I think all of that being said favors the Timbers. However, the Timbers lately have been playing a lot more conservative, and game has kicked off. We are just approaching the end of the first minute. The Timbers have been playing a little more conservatively, as they have done in seasons past. When they are struggling to secure a playoff spot, they often go into a much more bunker and counter style of play, something they're used to, something Savarese is used to coaching, and it also gives a little bit of extra life to the legs of some of their older players, like a Sebastian Blanco or like a Valeri before he retired, and to a certain extent Diego Chara, because he doesn't have to be sprinting back and forth throughout the entire field. So I don't know if it's going to be a high-scoring affair, and maybe there is some openings for the Loons to exploit, but like we said before, Portland has better form. They're playing at home. Minnesota's got a bunch of injuries. Eric Williamson, man, he has been a nice bright spot for Portland, Mike. Have you been watching him lately? And you remember this guy, like, up and coming on the USMNT radar right before an injury to him?
Yeah, I mean, I remember him, and that injury was really bad timing, because I think it was even leading up into the playoffs last year for them, before they made that MLS Cup run. But there's a nice ball into the box, but St. Clair's got it. I do, I don't know. Well, I don't even.
Eric Williamson, man. Eric Williamson. I know you're busy watching
I'm trying to watch the damn game, and I'm tired. Eric Williamson, when he got that injury, he needs to, he got back. He's in good form again. I think he goes right back to the conversation for the USMNT. As long as he's in good form, I think he's a bright spot. He's got a good future ahead of him, young man, and hopefully he can, that injury doesn't derail his career.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mike. I don't see that being the case for him. He's got 5 assists in like limited games this season. I'm looking at FBref.com. Only 10 games as far as like minutes go, like 976 minutes. He's played in 19 matches this season, most of them late appearances off the bench until recently. 5 assists. So he definitely knows how to be creative for the Timbers. So let's keep that in mind as they try and play a good ball into the box here from out wide. And St. Clair with the long bomb down the field, but Portland's defense clears it away, man. But yeah, Williamson is definitely kind of the main creative guy once Portland starts getting into that offensive third. Obviously, you can't count out Blanco, so we'll keep an eye on him. But let's see, where's come on ESPN, where's the clock, man? There we go. They finally put it back up. So we're in the 4th minute already, and high energy, brother. High energy. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's been a good start from both sides, back and forth. Nice little half chance there up into the box. Chara puts the header over. Looking good. Portland's got a good start.
No doubt about it. We got a question in from Ashrat Bot in the chat here. He says, final score? Mike, what is your prediction for the final score tonight?
I'm going 3-1 Portland.
I'm not as optimistic as you as far as the goals, but I'll be conservative. I'll be the conservative one tonight. 2-1 Portland. Portland's won their last 2 games 2-1. So we'll keep the trend going here. Ashrat, what do you think? What is your prediction, man? Let us know in the chat. We also got some of our regulars here, some of our guys. Neely W, Dan Geringer, Hani Mukhtar Edits, Red Bull Insider. Great to see you all jumping in tonight and chatting with us as we take in, some great Portland action. How about that one from
says hi to Dan. Dan Geringer, how you doing, my man? Just put on the LAFC game. 1-0. All right. Woo. Good start for LAFC. They're on the road, right? I believe they're on the road. Yeah, on the road. Nice start. Trying to right the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, and there you go. Nice. Just to keep you guys up to date, my kids' LAFC white team started their season today with a 4-1 win over LAFC Gray. Nice. Good stuff, man. That is awesome. That is I'd love to follow that. I got to start following that. Which websites can I follow that stuff on there, Dan?
Hey, we also got Matt Canali jumping in. He says Timbers 2, Loons 1. So I like where Matt's head is. We got the same picks there. Now we got Portland only into the 6th minute, Mike, but they've been doing a lot of running already. Portland with the throw in from about midfield. They had a really good opportunity recently. A ball crossed in with Diego Chara putting a header just at the keeper there. Minnesota now on the counterattack, trying to push the ball forward, but Timbers turn them over in midfield and then give the ball right back. Minnesota slowing things down a little bit. Hey, if there are any Minnesota United fans that are out in our chat and watching along with us live, what's your guys' take on Will Trapp? How do you feel about Will Trapp? Because I think he's been a solid MLS player, going back to his Columbus days as well, and has been a decent piece for Minnesota. But at the same time, like when you saw him getting USMNT call-ups in the past, you maybe thought he had a much higher ceiling and he maybe was supposed to be doing a lot more. But I think he's much more of a slow down, slow tempo control, passing kind of possession kind of center midfielder. So if anyone out there has any other takes on Will Trapp, I would love to hear it at some point in the chat. That would be great. Now, Mike, I remember we were talking back when we were doing USMNT stuff a couple years ago about Will Trapp is just not having that edge to play at the international level. Jackson Ewell then started getting those spots, and same problem kind of for him. What's your take on Will Trapp and the season he's been having for Minnesota, and what do you think about him?
No. He's not making it to the USMNT right now.
Oh, I was not suggesting that, but like, what do you think of him lately? Like, he's a good fit for Minnesota, right?
I mean, yeah, he fits into the team well. He's a lot like Ethan Finley, and they have their relationship back with Columbus as well. So, I mean,
that's true.
I think that helps. But I mean, he's not standing out in games like he used to. But he's all right.
Yeah. I'll take that. He's I quote Mike Guglielmi about Will Trapp.
Oh,
He's
Minnesota right in the box. Oh, nice clearance. Yeah, so that was an Allison with the comment here. Y'all see him talking to himself. He was yelling at me. Yes, she was standing at the top of the stairs telling me all about something that just happened, because that is our life right now. Whenever we get 2 seconds to scream at each other across the house to let us know what's going on in the day that we're running. So yeah, that was what that was about.
Nice.
Oh, nice shot, rebounded. Holy, oh my God, that might be save of the damn year.
Oh, really? Let me just refresh my browser. I think I'm like 2 minutes behind you here, Mike.
Wow. That was unreal.
Saved by Minnesota?
Yeah, great shot in by Menendez. And then great save. Pops right to Amarilla. Free header on goal. Nothing but the goalie kind of going down one way. Puts it right into his arm. Right into his shoulder, his chest, something. And then another shot ended up coming in, and then a beautiful clearance. Oh man, wait a minute, Dan, you might not be a mod. I didn't see the link come through. All right, Dan is now a moderator, so you can send the link now, I think, unless they changed that since like a year ago. But I know it used to work like a year ago. Wow. Did you see those saves, Nick?
ESPN Plus decided to log me out right at that moment, Mike. I missed that. I'll have to go back and find the highlight package here.
Yeah, they should have that up on MLS Soccer.
Okay, I am back in. I am right at the 8-minute mark, so I'm probably a few minutes behind you, right?
8-minute mark?
Yeah, where are you at in this game?
It just hit 11 on the clock.
Jeez, man. All right, let me
Bro,
refresh
you are
this
way down. Oh, hey, Dallas just scored.
Oh, okay.
Are you just were you just like rewound a little bit? Do you need to like forward it? Uh-oh. I think Nick's frozen. Nick might be frozen. So wait, Dan, you said Dallas was up a man? LAFC's playing with 10? Portland trying to regroup there after that big chance from Minnesota. Allison, y'all whack. Nick's having some connection issues at home. There's a great ball in by Portland, but right at St. Clair. Okay, LAFC's playing with 10. Yeah, that's not good on the road with that much game left. Minnesota up on the attack. All right, a nice ball in from Lode. Back post. Amarilla tries to get ahead to it, but it's cleared by Portland. Dallas just scored and looks like a foul in the box on LAFC. Oh, man, that's no good. That's no good. There's Connor in the house. Connor knows soccer. What's up, man? And Nick is back. All right. Back in the building.
I am back. Back.
You tried to get this on live stream and your bandwidth said no.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to blame my wife streaming reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond or The Crown. Getting into that now with current events being what they are.
Eric Sarah's in the house. Let's go Timbers. What's up, Eric? How you been, man?
Yes, Eric, let's go. I gotta say, man, since the Timbers came into the league, they have occupied a little bit of my soccer heart. That's for sure. Whether it's the many facial expressions of Gio Savarese, the fantastic jersey designs, whatever it is about them, like they got a little piece of my heart. They do.
Uh-oh. Dan, it's not looking good, Dan. It's not looking good. 2-1 now. Dallas over LAFC. Oh, it's the 80th minute. Okay, I thought it was earlier in the game. I'm way off.
I know we were saying that, LAFC's got to get back into form, and they just are not having it. I mean, Dallas is obviously, we know the offense that they have, but man, how is LAFC not keeping up?
George Moda in the house. What's up, George? How you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. You caught me on a rare appearance here on SOP tonight. And then Connor, Nick, can we avoid the Montreal game from last night on the Monday recap, please? Moy Gamer in the house is well. What's up, man? How you doing?
Moy Gamer, what's up? All right, Mike, it's weird, man. I know Portland's at home, but I feel like
the box here for Minnesota. He's onside. He puts it in his side netting.
Minnesota's had a chunk of the possession, I feel like.
Yeah, they're getting some good possession in the final third as well. Ivicic has had to make a couple really, really good saves.
Oh, I'm getting the replay now. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that was the side netting replay.
That was netting, but I mean, Ivicic he's been playing really well.
Yeah, it looked like he was in really good position for that one. If it was on frame, he probably would have been able to get a paw on it. I'm actually, the Portland goalkeeping situation has been interesting, right? Because they had Clark, and then they moved on from Clark, and then I forget who the one after that was, and now they go to Ivicic. Like, they've gotten like okay goalkeeper play. I wonder if that has been kind of a problem with Portland lately. Is they're not they don't have a reliable man in net.
Ivicic is a good goalie. I mean, I think he's going to be fine in MLS. He's not going to be a showstopper up in the running for goalkeeper of the year every year, but he's going to be a very serviceable MLS keeper. I mean, you can see it. He makes some good saves, really good saves. Biswell Goma in the house. What's up, Biswell? How you doing?
Hey, Biswell.
And Moy Gamer, who's ready for the World Cup? I can't friggin' wait to watch the World Cup, man. I can't wait. And I can't wait to just watch the best players in the world all on the field at the same time. And this is a first for me, having Canada actually in the tournament. Like, it's crazy. Like, you look back at the whole thing, and like with them making the World Cup, man, I'm like, dude, I don't care if they don't score a goal in the World Cup. Just having them there is pretty friggin' cool. Since they've not been in the World Cup in my lifetime. Well, they were in 86. Minnesota with a chance. Another good save. Puts it across the box, and Maria comes in late.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota's not done, though. They recycle the ball around and get another cross across the front of goal, but it goes begging. No one's making the run.
Look at that. Now you're ahead of me, Nick. See, you refreshed, and now you're ahead of me.
That's it. I got to stay fresh. Mike. We'll put it that way. Dude, I'll tell you, though, I know you're saying that it's great that Canada's there even if they don't score a goal. When Greece was in their first World Cup, and if you guys don't know by now, I'm Greek. My grandparents came over from Greece. I will cheer and support any of their teams as well. When Greece made their first World Cup in 1994, their first ever World Cup in 94 here in America, and I got to go watch them in Soldier Field play Bulgaria, and Bulgaria smoked them 4-0, and then they lost their next two games 4-0, 3-0. I did not feel good that they were just there. Let me tell you that. I don't expect Canada to lose 11-0 on aggregate, but you want to see them put together a good cup. Now Greece was in Greektown, Chicago, like partying all night. Like, I know plenty of Greeks from around Chicago who are like, yeah, we were partying with that team in 94. They didn't care. They were just happy to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think Canada will do that.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they definitely they're going to give it a go. Do they have enough to get out of that group? I don't think so. I mean, it's just too much class in that group. I mean, Belgium is going to be insane. I think Morocco is a good matchup for Canada. I think those are two fairly even national teams. It should be a great game. So and then Croatia. I mean, Croatia's a much better team than Canada. It's good. It's going to be enjoyable to watch. And I think I go into it with that mentality because I've been a Canada soccer fan since watching, not watching, listening to on the radio or just seeing the scores online. It's a long friggin' time, man. I mean, I remember just refreshing like the scoreboard on the ESPN, website on my computer, seeing what the score was when they played French Guinea or something. You know what I mean? So it's like to see them in the World Cup doing all that, I'm excited about it. And that's, even if all goes bad, it's all good.
There you go. Well, I gotta give thanks here to Eric Saris for following up on my Timbers goalkeeper conversation here. Meanwhile, the Timbers, 20th minute, Williamson standing over the ball. He's about 25 yards to the right of the keeper. Free kick gets swung in, lobbed over, and cleared out by Minnesota. Not a bad ball, but just kind of lofted into an area where there were no Timbers runners. But Eric Saris says the Timbers got Ivicic in 2019. He feels they always wanted to groom him as an heir to Clark, but injuries and Jeff Attinella delayed them unleashing Ivicic. Okay, thank you. It was Attinella and Clark and now Ivicic. I'd forgotten those guys. And they had all been pretty decent goalkeepers. And Clark was playing with Houston right now, I think. Not that he's doing very well for the Dynamo.
No. I don't know. I think the U.S. has got the best chance in the group, of the three, four from CONCACAF. But I think U.S. gets the furthest.
Out of the CONCACAF teams?
Probably.
Yeah. Was it Costa Rica that got the fourth spot?
What's that?
Was it Costa Rica that got the fourth spot?
Yeah, Costa Rica beat New Zealand in the playoff or something in June.
That's right. Poor New Zealand.
So they ended up, I think Costa Rica got into a group with like Germany, Spain, and like some other firepower.
Yeah,
it was the group of death that they got into.
Honestly, though, the way the World Cup's breaking out, like the way teams have been developing, especially CONCACAF and the African nations and even the Asian Federation, man, like every group is a group of death.
Right.
I mean, the only way, and again, I'll pick on New Zealand a little bit more, like the only way there's not a group of death is if New Zealand wins their playoff and then there's like a down year for like a couple of Asia, like a European team who gets in, like maybe Switzerland and New Zealand are in a group and that's it. And then you've got like a Argentina and Mexico on a good year. Something like that. I don't know. I'm making up a lot of wild World Cup hypotheticals when we're watching the Loons and the Timbers here tonight. And we've got in the 23rd minute, it is 0-0. Loons have had a lot of possession lately, but or I should say Portland has been trying a lot of possession the last couple of minutes, but the Loons have 59% possession on the match so far. So they are definitely kind of controlling the game flow, which even though Timbers like to play a little bit more defensive, I thought they would have a lot more possession at being at home and being in their very cool like maroon and cream jerseys that they're rocking tonight. But they just haven't been able to maintain possession in the attacking third. And I know Nijgoda has not exactly been that attacking star that they've wanted. As here the Loons are on a counterattack. The ball goes out to the right. They're inside the box. The cutback. Timbers recover, get into the defensive positions. But Minnesota retains possession, then fouls Williamson. And the Timbers are bailed out. All right.
There's a good one from Dan about this game. The Loons or Timbers playoff bound. Well, I can say that the Timbers, I think they are. I think the Timbers get in. Now, for the Loons, without Reynoso, if this is long-term, I don't see them making the playoffs. What do you think, Nick?
So Portland's in the 7 spot. The Loons are in the 5 spot. Let me look at the standings and the points here. So here's what we got. Loons are in 5th on 45 points. RSL and Portland are in 6th and 7th with 43. Then you've got LA and Seattle 40 and 39, and Seattle with a huge win over Austin tonight. So if Portland ends up winning this game, as Eric Saris is alluding to here in the comments, they will jump to that 5th spot. You got to remember the tiebreakers in MLS. The first tiebreaker is wins and then goal differential. But Portland will be even with RSL on wins depending on their result now. But then they've got a +2 goal differential, which is 2 more than RSL, depending on RSL's result. So Portland seems to be in a much better position than Minnesota if they win this game. But, man, I don't know if LA and Seattle are going to make that jump above these teams, Minnesota, RSL, and Portland. What do you think, Mike? Right now, I think they're both in. Regardless of what happens tonight, I think they're both in. What do you think?
I think I don't know. I see Minnesota struggling with the way they have in the recent results. They look pretty good tonight. They look better than I thought they were going to look. But I don't know. Seattle, I got to say, I mean, I cannot count the Seattle Sounders out of the playoffs until they are officially eliminated from playoff contention. That team has never missed the playoffs in their existence. So I'm like, there's one. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun race. I mean, more so in the East than the West, I think there's a little bit more of a gap, and it's not so tight. But, it's definitely I got to go with the Loons out without Reynoso. That man runs that team, man. He is so important to that team. So if Seattle makes it, who slips out? Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going with Minnesota slipping out. What's even the standings? Are they that far ahead that they can't? Or
so Seattle is has 39 points. Portland and Real Salt Lake are at 43. Galaxy's in between there at 40. So from 5th through 9th, it's 6 points. I don't see Nashville slipping that much either. Like, they're in the 4th place slot. They're probably going to stick around that 4th place slot. But yeah, I mean, Minnesota, RSL, Portland, LA, Seattle, 5 through 9. I think Colorado is done. Vancouver is done, even though they're sitting 10th and 11th and 36 and 34 points, respectively. But yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yep, I don't think so.
Yeah,
all right, there you go. Red Bull Insider. I'm happy the Red Bulls have separated from the pack. I am happy for you. I am happy that the Red Bulls are going to make the playoffs this year and hopefully do something. They could make some noise in the playoffs. That's a team that could go to Philly with a good game plan and get a job done.
No doubt. I think they had did they have a recent victory? 1-0 victory over Philly? I can't remember if that was them. I think so, maybe. Yeah. So they definitely have that high pressing, that high energy counter pressing soccer definitely is a formula to slow down some of those offenses, like the Union, who just they put up 5-1 against Orlando, albeit a tired and rotated probably Orlando coming off a U.S. Open Cup victory. Cheers to the Lions. Congratulations on your first MLS trophy.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Shout
it. I knew they weren't getting it done. That was an easy pick tonight. I actually got a parlay going that's 3 out of 4 legs in, and I just need RSL to finish off DC United. And if they get the W, that would be Mountie. And that's it. With this comment, Nick, I'm out of here, man. As soon as I'm done dealing with Mountie over here, I'm done. I'm going to bed, man. I'm done. I've had a long day. I'm out of here.
It's all out of love, Mountie.
I love it, man. Dude, you guys are rocking right now. And from I hate Montreal's guts because I'm a TFC fan, but you guys are looking really good. And I don't know if you got enough to get the job done and get the cup this year, but you got a really strong damn team. So I'm happy for you, dude. And with that, Nick, what's your piece on that? And take it away for the rest of the night because I'm going to bed.
Brother, rest up. We'll talk again soon. Hopefully you can jump on Monday with a little commentary and a little TFC insight for the live recap Monday night at 8. Go. But we'll address Monday on Monday.
Right? Exactly. Let me get done with my crazy day of doing. I got cheer at the practice at the football game, or it's a game or something. I don't even know. Then I got to volunteer right after that. Then I got to race over and go to a volleyball tournament, which will probably be like 2 or 3 games in. Homecoming? The hell's that?
Oh, what's up, Allison?
God. So yeah, anyways, long story short, I'm going to be running around from place to place, working in concession stands and coaching and maybe sitting on my ass watching some sports, but it's going to be a long one.
You're going to be like that guy at the wedding in church with the phone in the back. I can see
Oh, yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah. All right, man. Have a good one, Nick. Mountie, take it easy. Dan, see you later. And have fun, and let's go Timbers. I need you to win that bet.
There we go.
All right, guys. See ya.
Take care, brother. So yeah, Monty, let me give you my Montreal take real quick. Like they've been getting results, but I just don't know if they had. It just feels like that's it. They're getting results. They're getting wins. They're getting the draws they need to. They're not really losing games, at least at home. I just don't feel them as like a trophy winning team. They just don't have that feel about them. Maybe maybe Mihailovic and Kone and Wanyama all pick it up a little bit when it does come playoff time, but that's just my impression of them. Maybe I haven't watched them as closely as you have. So quick recap, everyone. It is the 30th minute of Portland hosting Minnesota. Portland has started to turn on a little bit of pressure. We had a Darren Asprilla kind of low off the ground, barely off the ground bicycle kick attempt that didn't really get anywhere, but Minnesota finally put a little pressure Portland finally putting a little pressure. Minnesota feeling it. Dane St. Clair with the ball, holding it at his feet, giving his team a minute to kind of regroup. And now they advance the ball up the right wing, looking for a quick counter. Minnesota got the ball in the middle, switching it around. I'll let you know if they actually get a threat out of it. But yeah, Mountie, that's my take on it. Got to give a quick shout out here too. We got Angus McCorder who just jumped in, finished watching the most boring game in the world, KC Houston. Hope all is well. Angus, we're doing well, man. We're enjoying this. Hopefully we get to see some goals tonight in this Portland Loons playoff implication matchup here. What happened in that SKC Houston game? Oh, 0-0. Yeah, that would be a boring game. I picked Kansas City to win. I thought they would have just enough offense to get past Houston. But yeah, 0-0 does not surprise me at all on this one. But great to have you jumping on, man. Hani Mukhtar's edits, Orlando's mid. I'm assuming you mean mid-table, and yeah, you're about right. They're middle of the playoff picture, but I actually did a profile of Orlando City on a recent episode of our MLS recap. So the first half of the show, for those of you guys don't know, the first half of the show, we look at the scores, the recaps, we go down some headlines. In the second half of the show, I pick a team to kind of review how their season's been going and what they're looking at in the future. In my opinion, Orlando is only in 5th place because they've had a very favorable schedule. And like they've lost a couple games to DC and Cincinnati, which, good playoff teams normally won't lose to all of those teams. But their next 6 games are all conference opponents. And I think at least 4 of their last 6 games are against teams who are currently in the playoffs and above them, if not all of them. So Orlando could actually fail to make the playoffs if they have a terrible, terrible run of form. But hey, at least they got that U.S. Open Cup on them, right? Let's see who else we got checking in on the comments. Connor says, I still believe Columbus will run the table in the playoffs. Just got to keep the faith and smile. That's it. That's what you do as a fan, as a good and loyal fan. You keep the faith, you smile, you enjoy it. We got some more good comments in here. Dan Geringer says, how many games are left in the season, and are there any games that are a must-watch? Well, I don't know the entire schedule of matchups yet, Dan. In the Eastern Conference, there are a lot of these mid-table teams who still have matchups against each other. Like Chicago probably won't make the playoffs. They've got like less than a 5% chance, but they still have games against New England and Charlotte within the next couple weeks who are right around them in the table. Similarly, I think Columbus and Cincinnati have some games with other mid-table teams. So the East is still pretty packed in there. They're playing each other. As far as games left, Hani Mukhtar Edis says 3 games, but I think they're in week 31 right now, or this week 30. So, 3 or 4 games left, depending on some of the teams have maybe 1 or 2 games played ahead. So 3 or 4 games left for each team in the regular season. So definitely points are at a premium. And here we just see Portland with a little bit of possession. Blanco with the cross in. Esprilla gets up, gets the header, and just puts it over the crossbar. So now Portland's starting to create some opportunities here. This is starting to turn for them. And yeah, I was surprised that Minnesota had so much possession to begin this game. Usually you see the away team say, let me absorb the first 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll start to attack. That looks to be what Portland did as the home team, that they were kind of sitting back, and now they're starting to build a little bit. And Minnesota and Dane St. Clair taking a little extra time on that goal kick to kind of settle the team down a little bit and see if they can't build out of the back. And as they play the ball forward, high kick on Portland. So Minnesota is going to get that kick in the offensive half. Now let me see if the stats have refreshed a little bit. Yeah, Portland and Minnesota, about 50-50 possession here. So the game has leveled out, that's for sure. Now we got a lot of people commenting, how does Cincy win by 6 goals? Cincinnati, San Jose. That's why they played San Jose. That's why Cincinnati won by 6 goals, man. San Jose's defense has been either a little bad or very, very, very bad all season. I haven't looked at the roster right now and who they've been playing, so but it doesn't surprise me that a Cincinnati team who's coming in motivated with a striker like Vasquez, who's trying to get into that USMNT September camp, ends up banging in 6 goals against a hapless San Jose team who is, let's see, battling for the wooden spoon right now. Yeah, wooden spoon. Oh, just over DC. They've got 3 more points than DC. So maybe not spoon material just yet. Meanwhile, Minnesota with another threatening ball into the box here. Some good defense by the Timbers to clear it away for a corner kick. We are just into the 36th minute of play. And we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it takes a set piece. Maybe it takes a set piece for the Loons to put one in the back of the net. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll take a few more comments here. There's some good stuff coming in on the chat. Thank you guys for putting it in. The ball gets in. It is at the 6. It is bouncing around, and it's still bouncing back and forth. And the ball shot goes in off the side netting for the Loons. That was maybe their best opportunity of the night, other than those big saves that I missed due to internet connection issues. But almost. These set pieces are what can equalize teams here. And this was nice little bit of pinball before it gets put in the side netting, and Portland will restart momentarily. We got a great comment here from brother BKL. I want to know for Campeones Cup, you think NYCFC has a chance to win between the different tactics, and in his mind, they might even be out of the playoffs. Man, Campeones Cup, I don't even know when that's going to take place. I am just trying to get to the playoffs right now. Look, NYCFC, if they can put it together, they still have talent. They still have a little bit of that city football group system, that possession system. And I think that's been the problem, right? You thought a Bear would be able to come in. You thought you'd have a couple younger guys take a step up and fill in the offensive firepower that they lost when they loaned out Tati Castellanos. But Cushing's changed up some of the lineups. He's made a few little tweaks tactically, and I think he's kind of laid off some of the pressing that they've had, so that has definitely slowed them down, and it has made the team not as comfortable as what they were under their previous 2 coaches, right? They knew what their system was, they knew what they were going to be doing week in and week out. So I think that's hampered NYCFC. We were talking earlier about playoff implication games, Galaxy and Vancouver, and we also have Hani Mukhtar saying Nashville only have 3 left. So yeah, pretty much every game for Nashville is going to be big for their standings. I think they're in, but they would love to get that home game. For the Galaxy, Dan, they definitely need to go on a good win here. And man, have you guys seen Chicharito's penalty kicks? He's missed his last 2, a terrible Panenka and just a poor shot tonight. So he needs to step it up. And Hani Mukhtar edits, I want DC to get the spoon. That would be something. That would be something for one of the classic franchises in MLS. Though I don't think it would be their first wooden spoon either. So there we go. Dan, you're asking about the graphics on here. I think there is a slight delay on it. Let me see if I can expand this for myself here. We're at the 39th minute there. Yeah, I think I have probably about a minute delay on the graphics that we're showing on our screen here. So yeah, just enjoy it, right? So we are in the 39th, at least I am in the 39th minute here with Portland, Minnesota, and Minnesota is building up a little bit. But Portland able to come back and break it up, and Adrian Heath is livid that there was no foul call, and now Portland are going the other way. Blanco's got it on the left. He's looking to play a ball through the middle, but the Loons get back and set up their defensive shape in quick fashion. That was impressive. And now Portland is going to be knocking the ball around, rotating things, poking and prodding for holes here, looking for maybe a switch, but Blanco, nothing to him. Portland is holding their defensive shape very well here as we get into the 40th minute or so. I'd like to see Williamson and Blanco get together in the middle of the field and maybe play a little 1-2 combination play, but they are both playing out on their respective wings, so I don't think we're going to see that as much. And yeah, looking at the lineups here, I don't even think it shows them on the starting lineups on the MLSsoccer.com. Oh, it's got Blanco listed as one of the strikers up top, but we know he's probably going to be dropping in. I don't know. Do you call him a false nine at this point? And then Williamson playing centrally, but he's been getting out on the wings a little bit more than I think he'd like to be. Anyway, we got Hilmi Gungor jumping in, dropping some names in the chat there. Hilmi, you wanna let us know who these guys are that you're dropping in? I know Juan Mata. And now we have Minnesota with a long ball over the top. Not a long ball over the top, a long ball on the ground here, but just offside. And the shot comes in, save is made. I don't know if they actually raise the flag or if they're letting that play go. But we will see. We will see. Hilmi, who are you talking about here, man? Who are these guys? Those names are not familiar to me. Let me know what else on there. Some of them sound familiar. Some of them ring a few bells here. Italian League, Dan, you might be right. I'm going to be doing some Google searching now. Mauro Icardi. And let's see what the Google box has for me. He's an Argentinian player. Striker for Turkish Super League team Galatasaray. Must be one of the Turkish names one of the Turkish teams looking at some of those names for sure. Anyway, Hilmi, thanks for dropping in, man. Great to have you with us as we're talking MLS, as we are talking Timbers, Minnesota here. Into the 42nd minute. Portland still maintaining some of that possession. Now they're working it around the middle, but an errant pass. Ludd gets in the way. And, thought there would be a moment there where Chara tries to do the tactical foul, but he avoids the foul, and Minnesota is able to build up a little bit. The Belgian players around there. Okay. Oh, Mertens and Icardi, Belgian players. Cool. And then Galatasaray. Thank you. So it is a Turkish team. Great. Thank you, Hilmi, for giving us a little international flavor. And thanks to everyone jumping in the chat and dropping some knowledge here. All right, here we go. Minnesota now with a few minutes left in first half regular time, working the ball around. Big long switch. Top of the 18, looking to get a shot off. They get a shot off, and it is skied. Is that Arriaga? Yeah, he is not happy with himself that he just puts one through the uprights, essentially. Good question here, Mr. Edits, Hani Mukhtar Edits. He says, shouldn't Nashville be moved back to the East? I think they should. I honestly think this year with them in the Western Conference, they had the most miles logged of any MLS team in MLS history in a single season. I want to say with St. Louis coming in, Nashville will move back to the East and St. Louis will be in the West. I've heard that. And then we'll see what the next, couple expansion teams that come in are. But I'm pretty sure with St. Louis coming in, it's a done deal that Nashville's going to move back to the Eastern Conference, much to the disappointment of every other team in the Eastern Conference, right? Especially if Hani Mukhtar keeps playing in his MVP form. Now, meanwhile, here in the game, Portland had a brief spell of possession. Minnesota turns him over, goes on the break, and we got the first yellow card of the game to Claudio Bravo, who breaks up the counterattack in the middle. I think there may have been some persistent infringement going on in this one as well, because they have been really getting fouled a lot in this game, and he just comes in, clips him on the back heel. No way he can play that off. But yeah, Claudio Bravo gets the first yellow card to the Argentinian. Another great question here. The Celtic Warrior channel, or do you pronounce it Celtic? Either way, says, will the United States host the FIFA Club World Cup? I've heard those rumors. I've seen a couple headlines about it. I haven't really investigated it. I would love it. I would love if the U.S. would host the Club World Cup, especially with an MLS team in the Club World Cup, with Seattle winning CONCACAF Champions League. The first MLS team to do so as the modern iteration of the CONCACAF Champions League. Meanwhile, Portland tries to thread one through, and it gets broken up by the Minnesota defense for a throw in from the wing there. Boxall with a good recovery. I love it. And really, with the U.S. hosting the World Cup along with Mexico and Canada in 2026, I think it would just bring that much more notice, popularity, money coming in. The United States has the facilities. They have not only the venues, but the facilities for teams, the travel, transportation, the infrastructure. We'll just call it like that. Agreed, says Celtic Warrior channel. Very cool channel. I'll have to check that out. That's a pretty sweet picture there. We'll have to see what you got going on. But that would be great. Speaking of St. Louis, Angus McOrder comes in. Cannot wait for hometown St. Louis to have a team. Has the MLS even decided which conference they'll be in? Can't find it online. I think the general assumption, I haven't seen official announcements, but from what I've been reading in secondary and tertiary sources, as well as an overabundance of Twitter, I gotta get off Twitter, or at least not consume as much as I do right now. I'm pretty sure that St. Louis will end up being in the Western Conference, because they're, as far as geography, I'm trying to use my mental map of the United States right now here. Isn't St. Louis pretty much in line with the Twin Cities there, Minneapolis here, and that's already in the Western Conference? Plus, that would be a really good Western Conference rivalry with them and Sporting Kansas City and maybe even some of the Texas teams. But yeah, pretty sure St. Louis is going west, Nashville coming back east. Hani Mukhtar edits, agrees to the best of his knowledge. Meanwhile, we are back in the game. We are into stoppage time. Minnesota gets a free kick, lobs one into the box. They get pinned down on the touchline, and Portland is able to clear. Asprilla trying to spring the counterattack, just crosses over half line on the left wing, but Minnesota's defense, Minnesota's defenders have been recovering so well. They get their back four back quickly and set up right on that 18-yard line. So they've been playing very well. Very well. Angus, thank you for the geography update. St. Louis just west of the Mississippi. I think the West makes more sense. That would be a good traditional kind of marker, right? Anything east or west of the Mississippi ends up in their East or West Conference. Well, sports fans, soccer fans, SO peeps, everyone on the chat, we are at halftime now. Timbers and Loons are 0-0. Let's see what Gio Savarese has to say. Let me listen in here. Gio says, not the first half they wanted. Yeah, obviously at 0-0. That makes sense, Gio. Oh, man, Matt Canali, remember back when MLS had a Central Division? If I remember right, it was only for a few seasons, though. Yeah, I vaguely remember that, especially being around Chicago. I think Chicago played in the Central Division. You've got my Google search going on right now. Let me see what this was all about. It was only in 2000 and 2001, according to Wikipedia. And it was Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew, Dallas Burn, and Tampa Bay Mutiny. So even though it was the Central Division, they still had Tampa Bay in there. And I think part of the reason they got away from the Central Division was for a more traditional lineup, or I should say traditional alignment. But yeah, when Miami and Tampa Bay folded and contracted after 2001, that definitely had them realigned. But Matt, good trivia, man. Going back to the Central Division, I think there's a lot of people now that want to see the MLS go to 4 divisions, right? And you have a Western, a Midwest, a Southeast, and like a Northeast or something like that, because we're expanding and we have so many teams, that, you know, you play every team in your division twice, and then maybe you, like how the NFL picks a cross division rivalry, you know, the NFC West, all of their teams will play every team from the AFC South or something like that on an occasion. So some people, I think, are looking for that, just because there are so many people jumping in. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as the league continues to expand and grow. I know a lot of people want to see Pro Rel, which is, people are thinking that, yeah, because we're expanding, we're going to end up having Pro Rel within the MLS, have an MLS First Division or an MLS Second Division, something like that. But I think that's years away, and I really don't want to get into a pro relegation discussion / argument right now, as we're enjoying Minnesota and Portland here. But guys, it is halftime. I'm going to take a quick break, soothe the voice, rest the voice for a quick minute or so, and let's take our halftime break, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes, everybody. Let me find the beautiful, beautiful halftime graphic that Mike has built for us. Actually, I do not see the halftime graphic, so we're going to put up the coming soon, and we will be back in just a couple minutes, everybody. Thank you. Hey everyone, at this halftime break, I want to take a quick moment to recognize our sponsor and one of our longest supporters here on Sons of a Pitch. We've been doing this for 5 years, and Donovan Food Brokerage, John Donovan, and especially Skira Icelandic Spring Water have been supporting the Sons of a Pitch since we were an American soccer podcast broadcasting out of my garage and Mike's trailer. And now that we've moved up to some cool technology and we're on YouTube, we're building a new website, all that great stuff. Skira Icelandic Spring Water has been supporting us throughout it all. So I want to take a minute to recognize them. pH balanced to quench your thirst. Skira Icelandic spring water available at your local 7-Eleven. I will leave you with their graphic as the halftime is about to wrap up, and we will be back taking a look this second half at the Timbers hosting Minnesota United 0-0 at the half. Viewers will be back in just a couple minutes. All right, soccer fans, we are back to start the second half of Minnesota United at Portland Timbers. Thank you all for being with us, for leaving your comments, for enjoying this late night soccer match. I know, especially for everybody out in the Eastern time zone. Whew, how do you guys function the next day after watching all these late night MLS matches, man? I don't know how you do it. I mean, maybe there's a lot of coffee. And as someone with 3 small children who also have a lot of activities and tries to stay up and watch soccer games, yeah, a lot of coffee is definitely one of the answers in order to get through it all. But as we are getting ready for the second half kickoff here, I want to run down some of the stats from the game just to kind of give everyone kind of an impression of what happened. Portland and Minnesota had about 50-50 possession. It was pretty even as the numbers bear, but Minnesota was kind of the dominant team. Minnesota ended up 13 shots, 2 on goal to Portland's 4 shots. So definitely had the better opportunities in that first half. A few of them just wide, just into the side netting. So it's been mostly Minnesota despite Portland being at home. However, Portland has been pressing into more attacking minded areas and they're just looking for a little bit of that creativity. And we know all it takes is a moment from Blanco or a moment from Williamson or just a moment of sheer force and will by Asprilla to get in and just blast one home. And the game could turn in a minute. Meanwhile, Minnesota, they're looking to see if they can't figure something else out. Off to a quick start here. Portland with the ball in the middle. Gets played through, and it is cleared out by Trapp for a corner. So Portland with an early rush forward And Dan, thank you so much. MLS Gone Wild. He agrees. Coffee is key. And I was never really a coffee drinker. Got through all of undergrad, got through all of law school, never really had any coffee. And the moment I get married and my wife and I have our little apartment together, she's brewing a fresh pot every morning. And that was it. That started it all for me. Now we've got Minnesota with the cross that comes in from the corner, goes to the far post. Nobody is there. And Minnesota is able to kind of get a foot on it. But Chara is able to, they called a foul. They called a foul on that one. I think it was just kind of too much little hacking in the back there, and eventually they go down and get the foul. But now Minnesota's got a chance to play it out of the back. And we actually got the MLS Gone Wild account. Welcome to the stream, MLS Gone Wild. Guys, follow them on Twitter. They have so much content and so much great stuff going on. Make sure you find MLS Gone Wild. And they say, good carry for Bravo there, one of the top left backs in the league. Yeah, he's been playing pretty well throughout the season, that's for sure. Dan, have a good walk with the dog. We'll see you when you get back, my friend. Let's see what we have now for Portland, building up the right again. And the ball going around. Let me run down a few stats as they kind of recycle the ball around as we continue looking at it. Passing accuracy as it stands. Portland with 83% passing, 78% passing for Minnesota, but total passes, 249 Portland, 237 Minnesota. So they have been playing a lot. I think when you see teams hitting over 400, it is a lot of passes going on. We've seen some of these bunkering teams with sub 300, sub 350 passes as the game goes on. So this is going to be it. Portland, though, 10 crosses. They like whipping it in. Duels won is about even, 24-25. Tackles won 9-5 in favor of Minnesota. Fouls, though, 8 Portland fouls to 4 Loons fouls and the 1 yellow card. I believe that was to Bravo. But if you look at the shooting breakdown, who's been shooting for Portland? Jimmy Chara and Dyron Espria. Got to get some more guys involved into the offense. Got to get more people going in. Here's the other crazy thing. Expected goals. The expected goals for Portland right now is 0.4. So not only are they not creating many opportunities, they are not getting them in good places. They're not high percentage shots, right? Meanwhile, Minnesota has 1.4 expected goals on the night on their total of 13 shots, and they need to just convert one of those here. Portland's got the ball in the back as we roll into the 51st minute. They're just kind of knocking it around, seeing which way they want to progress it. And Angus realizing caffeine, not good for him. You know, I don't mind a little bit of cup in the morning, but man, some people I see drinking like 2 and 3 energy drinks and then a coffee after dinner. I don't know how people do that much caffeine, man. I'm with you. I definitely need to pick me up as much as anybody between full-time job, 3 children, activities, live streams, YouTube channels, and everything else. But yeah, too much caffeine. Oh, there was a real odd play right there, guys. In the 51st minute, Portland just kind of, was that Tuiloma that just kind of puts a ridiculous kind of cross that goes too far, but then due to the spin on the ball, bounces right at the 6-yard line and has a ridiculous, weird little spin at the corner of the goal. And Dane St. Clair just has to do the safe thing and tip it up over the bar. Like, that was just a really odd play in the 51st minute, resulting in a Portland corner. Now you got Williamson standing over the ball at the corner flag there. He is ready to play it in, tapping his head, giving the sign. Ball is played near post at the 6-yard line, headed away by Minnesota. Portland is maintaining the possession for the time being. Some nifty little footwork there. Who was that? Number 30 for Portland. Moreno with some nifty little footwork to kind of do a little some golden sombrero there over Will Trapp, but ends up playing the ball over the touchline, does not get the runner in. Let's see what some of the other comments we got going on in the chat. Connor knows soccer. Jesus scored a brace in the comeback win for Dallas. Ferreira has been in very good form. Bodes well for the U.S. getting ready for the World Cup, that's for sure. Bodes well for Dallas's trophy hopes and playoff positioning as they look to move up into that third spot. And if LAFC continues to drop points and Dallas continues to pick up a few, they may even flip-flop with LAFC and take that third spot, right? Right now, Dallas is, let's see. Oh, no, I don't think Dallas is going to. They might push past Austin. Sorry, too much. LAFC is on 60. Dallas is on 49. Austin's at 51. Here we got some action and excitement going on in the Portland game. Jimmy Chara makes the run, pushing forward, or not Jimmy Chara. Jimmy Chara pushes the run forward, gets kind of sandwiched by a couple of Loons defenders, looking for a foul, looking for something from the referee. Referee ain't having any of it. He's been having I think the referee's had a decent game tonight so far. And this build-up, again, another nice play. Moreno, the chip from within his own half over the top, tries to get Jimmy Chara on the run, but the defenders kind of sandwich him out of it. Now we got an injury from a Loons player who is down. And we'll take a minute. Now on the live. All right, everybody. I think we are back, having a few connection issues here. Let me see if I can clear out some of the bandwidth on everything else that's going on. Portland has picked it up as looking. They definitely came out this second half looking to get the quick goal, it would seem. Definitely are trying to identify some of these defenders. And with Robin Ludd having to get back and make that recovery run, you could see they want to play some quick balls over the top. At the halftime interview, Savarese said they were playing a little too slow, allowing Portland to get back and get set. And I was praising Portland in the first half for getting their defenders back and into the shape so well. So let's see if Portland can play a lot faster in some of these transition moments. Brother BKL gives us the scoreboard update here with some of the Liga MX and some MLS games. Thank you, brother BKL. But let me run down here. I'll let everybody know what was going on. Last night we saw Montreal come back. They scored 2 goals after the 89th minute to draw at home against Columbus. We had Charlotte defeat NYCFC 1-0. Nashville and the Galaxy draw 1-1. Red Bulls defeat New England 2-1. Atlanta with a ridiculous victory over Toronto 4-2. I don't think Atlanta's making the playoffs, but I do believe they just played spoiler for TFC. Cincinnati 6-0. Philly's not the only team that can score a touchdown in MLS. Cincinnati dropped 6 on hapless San Jose. Philly 5-1 over the recent U.S. Open Cup champions, Orlando. Orlando had some tired legs, man. I don't blame Philly for dropping 5 on them or would have expected anything less. Chicago with a big win, 3-1 over Miami, keeps their slim playoff hopes alive. Seattle 3-0 over Austin. Austin is in some poor form. And LAFC as well, losing to Dallas 2-1. Houston, SKC played to a 0-0 draw, as one of our commenters said, the most boring game ever. Colorado's on top of Vancouver 3-1. RSL 0-0 to DC, and those games are in late stages with 15-20 minutes left in each of those, if not less. So we'll see. I think Mike had RSL over DC in one of his parlays. Hopefully they hit for him. And then we have got the last game of the night, 0-0 here, Portland, Minnesota. We are in the 57th minute on my screen that I am watching the game on. Minnesota trying to get that ball up into some dangerous areas on a restart here, but Portland is able to cut it off. Ball goes out of bounds on the clearance. Minnesota with the throw about midway into Portland's defensive half here. So now we've got Garcia on the touchline for Minnesota. Gets a cross off, but there's Ivacic that steps off his line, pulls it in. looks for the quick restart, but Minnesota is able to kind of cut off some of his passing lanes. So he decides to play it slow out of the back right now for Portland. I want to remind everyone, if you like the chat that we're having here, both my conversation and everything going on in the chat, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, we do a live show recapping all the action in MLS. We talk about players. We talk about mostly the scores and the playoffs implications at this point, work in some of the headlines. So make sure you jump in for that live chat. The second half of that show, we do a team profile, and we look at one of the MLS teams, how their season has been this year, what their kind of floor and ceiling are, and what we expect of them in the offseason. And then if we got some stoppage time, we take live Q&A, right? So please jump in, share the link, share the conversation. That's our goal here at Sons of a Pitch. Grow the sport through conversation. And let's have some conversation back onto this game. Minnesota's got possession, turns it over at midfield. Portland trying that quick counterattack. You got Jimmy Chara making the run at goal, but has to come back to receive the pass. He is about 25 yards out, lays it off out on the right. And they are now working the ball. Williamson's got it in the center of the pitch, works it back left. Diego Chara with it now, working it around. We'll see if they can isolate Jimmy Chara for kind of a slashing run, diagonal run behind the defense, or if they're going to try to get Asprilla in a position for another just acrobatic or towering header that he can put in. But they're just kind of knocking it around, seeing which Minnesota defender they can pull out of position right now. Ball gets switched right. Williamson with a hit. Ooh, a low strike about a yard right of the right post. That is fantastic work from Portland to kind of pull Minnesota to Dane St. Clair's right and then switch the ball to Williamson at the center of the field, and he hits it just a yard or two wide. He's disappointed. He wanted to put that one on frame, but that is excellent patience and excellent work by the Timbers. Connor says it's almost 11:30. Yes, my friend. But thankfully, it's not a school night, so we can stay up a little bit. It is a church night. I'll be gotta get the kids to Sunday church school tomorrow, so I'll be going to bed as soon as this game ends. But it is getting a little late here. MLS after dark, MLS during dark, right? And then we've got Angus saying, "Are you guys going to be covering any World Cup matches?" That is the goal, Angus. That is what we are building to. As Portland is building, Jimmy Chara gets into the box, and a recovery run by the Minnesota defenders gets it knocked out for a corner kick. Now, hey, we were talking about that Asprilla towering header. Moreno's taking it this time. Williamson had been taking the set pieces. Now we've got Moreno on it, and oh my goodness, the screen, the graphic is just ahead of me. Look at that. It says goal. It looks like we've finally broken the tie. I am about a minute behind the update here. We're going to see it, folks. I'll call it for you here now that I know that it's coming, right? We got the corner from Moreno to the right of goal. Corner comes in. It's Asprilla at the near post. Who's able to flick it on? That's fantastic. What were we just talking about? We were just talking about Asprilla, looking for him for a towering header to find it. And we talk it into existence here on SOP. Apologies to the Loons fans, but he is able to get there, get up, get to the ball, flick it to that back post. Great work. No chance for Dane St. Clair. Boxall tries to box out Asprilla, but he does not get there in time. Great play. We have a goal. It is 1-0. Asprilla with the cartwheel 2 backflip celebration that he is known for. We've got a goal. And yeah, Angus, you're right, brother. It was boring to this point in many aspects. We had some great opportunities. We had some great moments, but that one, the greatest so far tonight. 61st minute go-ahead goal off the set-piece corner kick header there on Asprilla. And Timbers up 1-0. We got ourselves a game now. Minnesota's going to be pushing those numbers a little bit forward, I think. And we'll see if that creates some more space for Jimmy Chara to run into, and maybe Blanco or Williamson to kind of find some of those long balls for him. We'll see how this works out. This could work in both teams' favor if Minnesota's got to push and figure it out, and then letting the Timbers counter like they like to. Now, Angus, you were asking about us covering some World Cup matches, and that is what we intend to do. We started this channel about 5 years ago, and it was just a podcast for a couple of years. We got into YouTube. We've been seeing, what kind of works for us. Lately, though, it has been difficult to really do a lot of these live streams on the weekends just due to family commitments and obligations. As far as the World Cup goes, these live streams are going to be a little tough to do just given the time differential. So we'll try to sneak a couple in here and there. But we are going to be launching a website where I'll be doing some blog posts and hopefully doing some recap videos and things like that we'll be posting to the channel and there as well. Right now, the blog is launched. It is out there. Let me see if I can get the exact website. Yeah, sopsoccer.wixsite.com/sopsoccer. So the website is live. We're tweaking it here and there just to try and get the best content out there for everybody. But yeah, you go check it out and and bookmark it, and there'll definitely be some more World Cup coverage on the website. Oh, love the comment here from Eric Saris. Who's the best 5 wingers in the league? And he goes on to answer Dyron, and Dyron. And that's, it's spoken like a true Timbers fan. RCTID over there for Eric Saris. And it's crazy the way that they've got the lineup on MLSsoccer.com. It's like a 3-1-4-2 with Dyron as one of the 2 strikers, but he has been playing on that right wing most of this game, or on one of the wings most of this game, right? Trying to either get some of those crosses in or just get involved in those set pieces, and it finally paid off for him. Now, he's trying to cover back a little bit on defense here, not as fleet of foot getting back on defense, but if you're scoring goals, they're not going to ask you to defend too much. Oh, and Minnesota with a little bit of a buildup, and Will Trapp bangs one on a rebound from the 18-yard line, and Ivičić is up to the challenge, able to knock it out for a corner, but that could have equalized things in a blink of an eye. Great buildup by Minnesota here. We are in the 65th minute. Minnesota is really slowing this corner kick down because they believe there's a handball somewhere in there that they're waiting for VAR to review. But at this point, if there is no check, if there's nothing signal, I doubt that's going to be in there. And we're still waiting for Minnesota to take the corner because they really want to see if this check is happening. Meanwhile, you got guys jockeying in. I wonder if they are making a check because you've got the assistant referee who has stood in. Yep, they did the check. Nothing there. And we have corner kick coming in. Oh, nope. They're going to stop it again. A little too much extracurricular activity in the box with Arriaga for Minnesota. The referee ain't going to have any of it. And if you're watching along, there's a great replay here. Ball bounces out and Trapp ready to spring on it. Great save by Ivičić. And as Eric Saris puts in the comments here, Ivičić ain't no B. We'll leave it at that. Great comment. You know what? Has anyone put that on a t-shirt yet out there in Portland? Have we tried that? Maybe a long sleeve goalkeeper jersey replica t-shirt or something like that. Meanwhile, Minnesota trying to work the ball around, and Williamson just picks the pocket of the Minnesota attacker there and is able to dribble it into relatively out of danger there. We got an injury down here now in the 67th minute for Portland. Who's that? Is that Blanco out on the left? He is just laying sprawled out on that left sideline. Hopefully nothing serious. Yep, I'm with you there, Eric. He keeps trying to get the Ivičić ain't no B chance started. Too controversial. Yep. So let's see where they're checking out Blanco on the season. 7 goals, 8 assists. Not a bad little season for someone who people thought were done, given the knee injuries and the age here, especially playing on the turf up there in Portland, it looks like. But looks like he just took a shot to the face. We'll see what the replay shows. Yeah, we'll trap just kind of with an errant arm out there. It doesn't look like anything malicious, just looks like he's trying to steady himself as he changes direction and just kind of catches Blanco there. Nothing serious. Savarese nodding his head there on the sideline. It looks all right. Now, you got the broadcaster saying that this was a very tactical injury by Blanco, trying to slow things down a little bit, kill a few minutes on the clock here, settle things when Minnesota's building up their possession. And you know what? Not that I know him personally, but what I do know about Blanco, that does not surprise me if that is in his little bag of tricks there. So now as they're getting ready to restart play, we're getting some good shots of the crowd. Good crowd as always in the Timbers game. Oh yeah, there it is. It was not an errant arm. Blanco takes a shot in the face from the ball from Trapp. Now we got the drop ball. We have restarted here as we are into the 69th minute. Ball goes long. Minnesota heads it up and out of bounds. Throw in Portland in their offensive half. Whew. This is difficult calling a game one-on-one here. Mike's got to come back and do some second half chat with me, man. I don't have enough Skira Icelandic spring water to keep my vocal cords cool and quenched as we call. And here we've got the Timbers with a little bit more buildup, but Minnesota able just to disrupt it enough, and the ball gets cleared out to half. Minnesota retains possession and starts to work it back around a little bit here. And they're knocking around. Let's take, as we're getting into the 69th, 70th minute here, let's take a look at some of the statistics we've got. Right now, Portland is at 53% possession, Minnesota 47%. Shots, Minnesota 14 to Portland 6. 3 shots on goal for Minnesota, 1 for Portland, and that's the one that went in. Wouldn't you know it? Total passes, 344 for Portland, over 307 for Minnesota. But here you've got the accuracy at 83% for Portland Timbers, only 77-ish% for Minnesota. And what I've noticed in looking at some of these is teams that have anything over 80% passing, you're seeing really dominating games. Like that is excellent passing completion percentages. But if you really want to get into it, those numbers can be deceiving because you'll have teams who knock the ball around the back line a lot, and that will inflate their passing numbers. So go look at MLSsoccer.com's stats breakdowns because it also gives passing completion by like third of the field, defensive third, middle of third, whatever. So if you see like 60% passing completion in the attacking third, then you know that they were just knocking it around the back a bit if they have a high percentage completion, passing percentage completion there. But anyway, it looks like Minnesota, or I should say Portland, actually has been maintaining some great passing because in their attacking half, 75% completion, final third, 69%. So they're actually completing a decent number of passes even as they are moving forward, which is helping contribute to some of their opportunities. Hey, Leon Verde, thanks for jumping in the chat here. Trophies, 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 US. That is what I love to see. And hopefully you can talk it into existence this fall and next year and the next cycle, and we can keep the wins and trophies coming for the United States. Leon Verde, thank you, my friend, for jumping on in with us tonight. Hey, are you how'd you find us, man? Are you a Portland fan? You looking for it? Let's check it out. And Eric with a great comment here. Now that Portland is up 1-0, this is me talking now. Now that Portland's up 1-0, we're in the 72nd, 73rd minute. He says, now we can play to our strength, counter-attacking. Oh man, as soon as I read your comment, Nijgoda comes on, fresh legs for Sebastian Blanco, and absolutely I can see Portland starting to play a little more defensively and look for Nijgoda on the counter. Also, great statistic that we just saw put on by the broadcast. Sebastian Blanco, the legend for the Portland Timbers, as well as an MLS legend. He's played in his now 500th professional soccer match. Tonight was his 500th professional match. That is fantastic. That is fantastic for Blanco. Route 1, baby. All right, Eric. I love to see it, man. Now we've got in the 73rd minute, Portland playing the ball forward. Ball's bouncing around in the middle. Foul committed. Called against Portland. Minnesota is able to kind of maintain some, maintain a little bit of composure here, hopefully. You saw Jimmy Chara and Arriaga kind of shoving each other a little bit. Arriaga wanted a quick restart a few minutes back. Jimmy Chara wouldn't let him do it. We'll see if that bubbles up. I don't think it will. This game is too close for players to lose their heads. But hey, I've been wrong about that kind of stuff before, so we'll see. All right, right now, ball played all the way up from Minnesota, trying to catch Portland's defense napping, but they are awake and ready. Asprilla bringing the ball up the right wing. Minnesota recovering. Portland playing the ball around the back. All right, guys, we're in the 75th minute here. There's 15 minutes of regular time left. How do we think this game ends? Mike was saying this is going to be a 3-1 Portland victory at the beginning of the game. I was saying a 2-1 Portland victory. Continuing their trend of 2-1 victories here. But we are now 1-0 Portland in the 74th, 75th minute. What are we thinking? How does this game end? Does Minnesota get on the board? Does Portland put it out of reach late here? Let's see what happens. I guess all we got to do is watch and see here. So Minnesota has been getting a couple opportunities every few minutes or so, but when the initial shot is either blocked or the ball is taken off their foot or they kind of can't find that final pass, they're not getting those second opportunities. Minnesota is able to either take the possession away or clear it into Minnesota's half. So they're not getting those second chances. They're not able to recycle it here. And it's like offensive rebounds in basketball, right? It's like going 3 and out in football, but then getting saved by a defensive penalty. Minnesota's not getting any of that. They are just they're just getting that little bit in the attacking third, not that final bit of creativity. So there we go. Eric Saris, I think it's going to start slowing down with stoppages, and Portland holds on for the 1-0. It looks like that. And like we talked about, the Nishgoda sub, he'll probably be the lone striker up top, and they'll drop some guys back. We've got Asprilla now in the defensive third of the field here, dropping in deep as well. Dan Gehringer, he's back. Been a goal, and I've had a shot at 12-year-old scotch. Oh, that's nice, man. I just finished off some bourbon here myself. Always make it a double when I'm watching a game. What's your brand of scotch, Dan? What are you drinking there? I have not been able to get into scotch, man. The few nights that I've tried it, it has not worked out well for me. I'll just put it that way. What's your brand? What's your type? 12-year-old, though. I'm glad you're going there. Meanwhile, Minnesota, with a great spell of possession, they get it deep into Portland territory, right onto the touchline. Ball comes back, and is that Amarilla again, trying to do a little back heel flip spin around and see? But he puts it just wide of the goal. And definitely Ivicic taking his time on the goal kick restart. Ball comes in. Minnesota wins the 50-50, tries to play it quick. And he is in behind. Minnesota is in the 18 with an opportunity. Portland getting back into the defensive shape. And too slow. Minnesota is able to recover. And who was that for? It was Amarilla. Just could not one-time it. Has to take a second, even a third touch. And Portland's defense is able to recover, clear it out. Minnesota has to regroup at the half line. Minnesota hits the diagonal ball, looking for one in the box. Cleared away, but not far enough. Minnesota is working it back around a little bit here in the 77th minute. Wow. Great sequence, great play. This game is picking up for 10:45 in the PM here in Central Time Zone. I'm all fired up. I might go take the garbage out. I might do some chores around the house. I might get some work done. There's a lot of energy coming from this game. Now, Portland trying to catch on the counter. It's a 2v3. We'll see if Nishgoda and Chara run at them or if they slow it down. And they go right at them. They try to play a 1-2 for the on-rushing. It looks like Moreno was making a late run into the box, but Minnesota is there to clear it away. There we go. Now we got some replays of some of that. Oh, Angus, I love it, man. With my heritage, I ought to be drinking scotch. Just don't like it. More of a bourbon guy. Well, that's the American in you. Now, I'm assuming you're here in the States, but if you're watching from overseas, man, let me know. We've actually picked up quite a few viewers over the years from overseas, people from Korea, the Middle East, especially Europe, South America. So it's great to have an international conversation going here. Scotch, I can enjoy a sip here or there, but if I drink more than one scotch, then it usually has not worked out well for me. I do love the sweetness of bourbon, though. I have a bit of a sweet tooth, a bit of a sweet taste for it, and that's why I enjoy the bourbon so much. Dan's drinking Aberfeldy. Oh, I have not heard of Aberfeldy. Maybe it's worth me trying it again. I might have to go to the local Benny's here and find it out. St. Louis. All right, man. I got a number of friends down in St. Louis. Dan, the burn, I think that's what gets me. I like the oak, the smokiness, but I think it's the burn that gets me, and I just can't do it too much. Impulse purchase at Costco. Aren't those the best and the worst at the same time? That's why I don't go to Costco, because I would probably come back not only with several cases of alcohol, but probably like 2 giant Costco pizzas and 3 hot dogs just to put it all together, right? I'd be drinking a nice scotch with pizza and hot dogs from Costco. That's probably why I don't go. Oh, man. Now we've got the Timbers with a free kick about 25 to 30 yards out, straight on. Ball goes in, blocked from the wall. Timbers retain possession. They try a little 1-2, and it is put just wide. Eric's drinking Burnside, Oregon, oaked bourbon. Oh, man. I love it. I finished off my bottle of Blanton's tonight, but there's a great distillery here around Chicago, Koval, Koval. That has been a really good bourbon. I've enjoyed that quite a bit. If you guys are looking for something, I don't know if they export it out west, but if you can get your hands on a bottle of Koval, it's a really good Chicago distillery. Not paid to say that. That's my own. Now, Portland gets the corner kick in, tries to do that near post flick, but it is too near post, and Minnesota is able to clear it away. However, Portland retains possession, and they're right back in the attacking third. Ball gets played in. Moreno, I don't know if that was a cross or a pass, but Dane St. Clair forced to kind of get down and make a play on it, and they're going to say it was not a tip. Nice little moment for Moreno there. And again, Minnesota plays it up, plays the goal kick up, gets to about half field, and Portland takes it away again. Now we've got a Portland player who, what was that, Jimmy Chara, who was kind of sitting down, but now that Portland retained possession, he bounces back up. There we go. All right, Burnside Distillery. I wonder, I'm going to go to my local liquor store here. Take a look for some Burnside scotch or Burnside bourbon here. We'll check it out. There's a chain here around the Chicago area. It's called Benny's, and as they say, if it's not a Benny's, it's not worth drinking. But we'll see if Benny's got it. I don't know. They've got huge selections. I mean, it's like a Walmart of nothing but alcohol. Another reason why I don't go shopping. I'm the one with the spending problem in this house. I could buy a case of everything. Anyway, here we go. Portland once again on the counter, guys. Portland is really taking over the possession of this game. We've got Moreno who gets fouled. Portland tries to pull him up. Moreno is not in any sort of hurry. Once again, he does the little sombrero move to get by. Who's that? Number 2. I can't see the name. Benitez. Benitez grabs him, fouls him, tries to help him back up quickly, and Moreno is not in any hurry right now. We are in the 82nd minute as I'm watching it. Timbers Army is chanting, is on their feet as always. All right. Dan, kids in a rut, had a better season last year with his attacking wing play. You know what? Everyone goes through the slumps. It's how you respond, right? You don't get better. You don't get out of the slump by dwelling on it. You get out of the slump by getting back out there. And Dan, I'm sure you know that. I'm sure your kid knows that. And it's just being able to hear it more and more. So good luck. Good luck to her getting back into a rhythm, get back into a groove. And here we've got, Minnesota with a golden opportunity to equalize it. Minnesota is able to switch the field to their left, get the ball forward and play a ball into the box right around the PK spot. And Portland's defense collapses right on the Minnesota striker. I'm trying to see who that was. He puts the ball over the crossbar. It wasn't close. The ball's bouncing, gets his foot underneath it, and he's looking for a foul. He's looking for a PK. He's rolling around. The referee's saying, "Come on, let's go." Right? That's Amarilla again. He's not had a good second half. Not had a good second half. And this, I don't know. This storyline may be a Minnesota didn't make the most of their first half chances, and now they're feeling the pressure. However, the Timbers are now making their substitutions. In comes Christian Paredes for Eric Williamson. I wonder if Eric Williamson's feeling gassed a little bit, or if they're just making sure that he gets a few minutes as they've got some important games coming up. Also, Loria is coming in for Jimmy Chara. Jimmy Chara definitely needs a break, man. That guy's been running nonstop since that first whistle blew, right? How high do you want the goal? How wide do you want the goal, Eric? Great chant, man. That is a great chant for Minnesota kicking field goals at this point right now. Oh, great. Look at that, guys. We're talking bourbons and whiskeys, and who's the sponsor that's on the screen right now? Widmer Brothers Brewing. So I guess they're hearing it too. Must be something about the Northwest. I don't know. But I will say, guys, my drink of choice has been and probably will always be Jack Daniels. Like a Jack and Coke is my go-to no matter where I am at. And if I just want to sip something nice, maybe Gentleman Jack, right? All right, hey, we got a nice MLS question here coming in from Dan Garriger. In your opinion, what do you think the MLS can do to increase fan base and viewership? Dan, that's the $1 million question, man. And if I had the perfect answer to it, I probably would not be sitting in my basement doing live streams. I'd probably be working in their corporate offices. Meanwhile, real quick, Minnesota with an excellent opportunity just dribbles it right down the Portland defenders' throats. And fortunately, they come back. Dane St. Clair, Ivicic able to get down. Defenders are able to come in and clear the ball away. McGraw gets a yellow card. Portland defender McGraw gets a yellow card. Don't know if that was for a prior foul or just for John or what, but interesting yellow card. But Dan, I'm going to answer your question right after we get this corner kick in from the Loons here. Ball comes in. Another near post bounces around. Oh, and Boxall is not able to get to it. Portland is able to knock it out, a little header, and clear from danger. Minnesota retains possession, but they are out of the danger area for the time being. Some scrambling on Portland's defense there for a little bit. Not totally out of danger. Now I think I can say they're out of danger. The ball gets played all the way back to Minnesota's goalkeeper here. So let's see, how can we increase viewership? Well, I think part of it is local blackouts. Like as a Chicago guy, I don't have WGN just with all the streaming service, right? Like I think actually going to Apple TV is going to help because so many people are reliant on streaming. Not a lot of people have cable anymore. I know for Comcast, they're probably one of the biggest providers. They are the worst company when it comes to customer service, billing, pricing, everything else, but they have a solid product. I'll give them that. So with every game going to Apple TV, I think that is going to increase viewership a lot with no blackouts, and every MLS regular season and playoff game will be broadcast over Apple Plus. I think that's going to be huge, right? I think another thing is just getting fan involvement, right? Like in Chicago, we don't have a lot of watch parties, at least none that I'm aware of, and I don't know in some of the quote-unquote small market teams, maybe like a San Jose or Houston or gosh, I'm trying to think. If St. Louis comes in, I'm sure they're going to have a huge momentum that first year and then keeping that momentum. I think that's another thing that teams do, because look at Atlanta, man. Atlanta was one of the best expansion franchises ever, and in the span of 4 years, they went from MLS Cup, Golden Boot, MVP to now they're struggling as a franchise to make the playoffs, right? So maintaining that momentum with parity, right? You got to look at you got to look at the NFL. You got to look at the NFL for a lot of this. So I think with the Apple TV deal, that's going to drive up viewership. I think if these clubs can do a lot more in the community on game day, that'll drive up viewership. Maybe some regular scheduling. We've got games all day. Oh, Diego Chara this time with the break-in on goal, gets pulled down just outside the 18. Yellow card for breaking up a counterattack to the Minnesota defender. Who is that? Lawrence? Wow. Portland. What we've been talking about? Get that quick counters, right? So now Portland's got a golden opportunity here just outside the 18 for a free kick. But yeah, if they can do all that, that'll be fantastic, Dan. That's kind of the long and the short of it. And yeah, Angus, you're right. And St. Louis soccer has been popular for many years back. They're definitely one of the hotbeds of American soccer, regardless of any sort of pro team there. Definitely the hotbed. He also says, convince kids to stick with watching the game so they can economically put money into the lead. All right. Interesting. Into the league. Economically put money into the league. Convince kids to stick with it. Expand on that a little bit, man. Expand on that a little bit for me, because that's interesting. And I think that's it. Like, my kids are 8, 6, and 3, and they went to their first professional soccer game this summer with me, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than watching it on TV. And that golden opportunity for Portland, free kick goes right into the wall. I think, was that Tuiloma that took it? I don't know why he's taking free kicks. Anyway, you've got to make it accessible to them. They're starting to play in kind of the Park District leagues here. I can take them to some of the games. They want to actually watch it. But when I say, like, okay, kids, time to watch the Chicago Fire, well, wait a minute, are we watching the 2:30 game, or are we watching the 4:30 game, or are we watching the 7:30 game? So I think that's gonna be a problem for it, consistent viewing, right? And it's basically keep them interested in the game, so in the future they buy season tickets. There you go. And you know what's cool with the Apple TV package? If you're a season ticket holder, then you're automatically getting the MLS Plus package for Apple TV. I think you might still have to buy Apple TV, but then the MLS games are part of that season ticket package. So that is a very cool thing they're doing. And yeah, Dan, you're right. English Premier League games are early in the morning, and those are set schedules, right? You look at the NFL here in the United States, or look at college football just today on this Saturday, right? Games are at 11, games are at 3, and games are at 7. It's set. And so you're watching your team. And I think that's the next iteration of MLS, right? We are all fans of the league. We all love Major League Soccer. We all have our teams. We all have our loyalties. So I'll watch a few games here. I'll bounce around. I'll watch a little Houston. I'll watch a little Portland. I'll watch a little Chicago. I'll watch a little New York, or if I don't, I'll just go catch the 90 and 15. But now that the league is growing, if you really want Portland fans, you really want Chicago fans, you really want Philly fans, those are the ones that you're going to be marketing to, who are going to be tuning in and week out. I think that gets back to Angus's point of, we need to have the kids buy in, literally buy in, right? So I think all of that, there's only growth here in MLS, right? There's only growth here in US for soccer. And yeah, Eric, you're right. Your comment from a couple minutes ago, the World Cup will help. I mean, the fact that we had the World Cup and then that literally kicked off the MLS with investment, with popularity and all of that, it's only going to take the game in this country to the next level. Now we're in stoppage time. By the way, guys, I think that's a great conversation. Maybe that's the bourbon kicking in that we've been able to talk about all of this. So great questions, great conversation. Oh, guys, now Portland just kicked a field goal. Paredes with the field goal. Great possession, great buildup. He was all alone from about 12 yards out and just gets under it. Oh, man. Interesting. We're in stoppage time. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 2 minutes are already gone. But, hey, we've seen a lot of crazy endings in MLS games. Like we said, Montreal in the first game of the weekend, 2 goals after the 89th minute to equalize. Minnesota's playing fast. They've got it here. We got a bad here from Saris. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Dan Geringer asks, Dan, you got to tell me, is it a hard G? Is it Geringer or is it Geringer, soft G? Tell me what it is so I can pronounce your name right. But Dan asks, do you see any rule changes to make the game more exciting? I think FIFA would have to be involved at a certain level if you want to be the sanctioned league in your country, in your federation. FIFA is going to have to be there. Dan Geringer, okay, hard G, got it. They're going to have to be involved to some level. So I don't think they're going to do anything crazy like stop the clock and that way eliminate stoppage time. Like that would be almost a fundamental change to the game, and FIFA would have to definitely get involved if they're going to allow that. But to make the game more exciting, I mean, remember when the MLS used to do the running shootout, the running PKs, instead of on the spot? If there was a shootout, then they're running in from, what was it, like 35 yards out or something like that. That would be a way to make it more exciting. No draws. You always have that kind of a shootout at the end there. I'm not advocating for that, but those are things that have been said. I think that keeping the system the way it is now is good. I think to keep it more exciting, you can look at changing the schedule a bit, making sure the scheduling is a little more balanced. Right now, we see teams are playing the same team within 4 or 5 weeks of each other. Portland with the counterattack late in the game. Moreno gets the shot off, and it goes begging just wide. Meanwhile, Minnesota looking for a quick counter here. And the referee is not going to allow them to take the goal kick. That is the game, folks. Portland, big 3 points for Portland, 1-0. They are going to move up in the Western Conference standings after all of today's results. What an incredible weekend for soccer, everybody. What a weekend. Woo, says Eric Saris. I'm very happy for you, my Portland friend. It's great to have you jumping in on the chat tonight. Dan, I hope that gives you a little bit of your answer to are things going to be more exciting? And you know what? When we're in the off season and we don't have a lot of games to cover or a lot of news to cover, man, that's going to be a great question for us to digest a little bit more here at Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. But to make the game more exciting, I'm not advocating for it, but you could get rid of draws and always have shootouts, kind of like what hockey did. I think that is a good comparison, right? Look at hockey and see what they did to kind of rejuvenate the fandom over there. I think, what was it? They changed some of the offside rule. I don't think FIFA or US Soccer or MLS or anyone is going to try and change the offside rule, but maybe you don't allow offsides to be called if the guy's shoelace is off, like we've been seeing lately, right? I don't know, because what's exciting, like goals and exciting play. Here's the biggest thing that MLS can do in the short term: raise the salary cap or get rid of the salary cap. Like that, you'll have a lot more talent coming in if they're going to make a few more dollars here. And there we go, the post-game shot, Sebastian Blanco and his kids. As always, you love to see it. Now we got the fans jumping up and down there in Portland. Way to go, Timbers, moving up that standing. Angus, few ideas, but people may not like it. Why don't you shoot us via email or via Twitter some of those ideas, man? We can read them on our next show. We're at SOP Soccer on Twitter and Sons of a Pitch Soccer at gmail.com. Let us know what you think about it, and we'll get into it, man. Minnesota, RSL, and LA all have games in hand on the Timbers. That is going to be tight, man. So I just refreshed my conference standings. Looking out west, Portland is now sitting in 5th with 45 points, followed by Minnesota and RSL, who have 44 and 43. LA outside the playoff line, 40 points. Seattle outside the playoff line, 39 points. It is going to be tight, and you're right. All those teams do have games in hand. The Galaxy actually have 2 games in hand. They're only sitting on 29 games right now. Depending on who they play those last couple games, that could really make a difference. But as we said, in MLS, the first tiebreaker for playoff seeding is wins and then goal differential. And right now, we have Portland on 11 wins, Minnesota with 13, and RSL with 11 wins. Good news is Portland has a +3 goal differential. Minnesota and RSL have 0, but LA and Seattle have +4 and +3 goal differential. Crazy thing, you look out west, every team in the playoff picture, even down to number 9, has a positive goal differential. You go down to the Eastern Conference, you've got 5th place Orlando, who has a goal differential of -9. And they're 5th place. And that's what I'm telling you, man. It's the schedule, right? They've had Western Conference team victories, and they've had losses to like bad teams in the East who are like nowhere near the playoff picture. So that's kind of changed their positioning, right? I expect Orlando to fall. They may not make the playoffs, even sitting in 5 with 3, 4, 5 games left. But anyway, everybody, it is midnight Eastern time. It is 11 o'clock Central time. I got to make sure I'm up and ready to go for church in the morning. It has been an absolute pleasure doing this watch along with you guys. Thanks to the dozen or so of you who have stuck it out to the end of the show here. Angus, Dan, brother BKL, you guys are the best. Eric Saris for hanging out here with us as well. What a great conversation. Leon Verde jumping in. Connor from earlier, Hani Mukhtar's edits, RBI, Red Bull Insider, Connor Knows Soccer, Neely W with the early appearance, Bizwell, George Mota. You guys have been great. Mike, appreciate you letting me come back and host and do all this great stuff with everybody here. This has been a lot of fun. God, I love talking soccer, and I think we got some of the best groups of people here to talk soccer with in all of MLS. So make sure everyone out there who's a soccer fan, share your stream. If you want to support the show financially, super chat, super thanks, all here on YouTube. You can also email us and hit us in the direct messages on Twitter if you want to talk about sponsorships. We'd love to talk about having a dedicated website sponsor to help us with our hosting. That way we don't have to have the Wix site. We can be sonsofapitchsoccer.com and put it out there for everybody. Talk to us about a dedicated website and social media sponsorships if you'd like. We'd love to discuss that with you all. And yes, of course, as everyone is saying in the chat, like and subscribe. That is the best way to support the channel. Monday night, 8 p.m., live MLS chat, recapping the weekend. Wednesday nights, betting, picks, and predictions videos come out, looking to the weekend ahead, and always turn on those notifications so you know the next time we do a live stream, assuming Mike's kids can actually get to bed on time and he doesn't have to deal with them. Just kidding, Mike. Love you, brother. Love the family. It's been too long. I need to get out for a visit. Also, if anyone in Chicago is listening, I think Mike and I are going to be at the next Chicago game against Charlotte. We'll probably be wearing our SOP shirts, so be on the lookout for us. Come up and say hi. Love it, everyone. This was a great night. I'm going to go crash. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Again, you guys are the best conversation in all of Major League Soccer. I'm going to put up the thanks, and we will see you on the next show.